Okay, Galit. You should be Galit, before you start, you should be very, very proud. Your students were just wonderful. It was just fantastic.
I am very proud, and I must say that it wasn't easy to none of them because they were in a holiday. They didn't have time to practice at school. They did it on their own time, on free time, and it's not something that obvious.
But besides the presentation, the work that they have put into the hackathon, the thinking, that's very impressive. And you should be congratulated for giving them an opportunity to think and to create. And that's just wonderful.
It's just to bring them
and the emotional and humane element in all that.
So many times in school, they say to the students, here's what you need to do. Here's what you need to do. Here's what you need to do. And you're giving the students an opportunity to do what they think is important. And that's really impressive.
Yes.
Well, Galit, it's your presentation. What are you doing? Tell us who you are. Start. Because people are going to be watching this who don't know you. So
yes, you're right. You're right. So
how are you doing this great work?
Okay, I'm Galit Zamler. I'm an serial entrepreneur, the founder of the Entrepreneurship for Kids program, which has been being taught in dozens of schools over Israel and also abroad. And I'm also the co-founder of Vickathon for hosting experiential hackathons. And it seems that I'm doing this alone, but it's never alone. You can't do such great things alone. It's always, we just form teams for each project, and we do it with every time with another team. And that's what is amazing about this. And I think that's my way to spread it and move it forward. And so others also will implement it in where they are. So now I'm gonna talk about entrepreneurship for anyone. Okay, I hope you'll find it interesting. Okay, so let me share my screen.
All eyes and ears to you, Galit.
Okay, so you can see it, right? Okay, so I'm Galit Zamler, and I'm gonna talk to you about entrepreneurship at any age. We are gonna discuss why is entrepreneurship essential, what is entrepreneurship, why start entrepreneurship from a young age, and what does it take to be an entrepreneur. But first, we may start with the question, why do we need entrepreneurship now? So I believe that you can see, as I see, that our world is rapidly changing. Everything is dynamic, and we can't be sure that we will go to the university, get a profession, graduate, and then our future will be guaranteed. It doesn't work anymore like this. And what I found from being an entrepreneur and seeing how entrepreneurs work is that if we will acquire entrepreneurial skills and use them, this will help us evolve, and no matter how our world is changing and all this that happens around us. And I became to this conclusion when I was about 22 years old, and I got a job at a human resource department, and I had to write dismissal letters to vegetarian workers. And what I came to the conclusion that at this age, it's very difficult to invent yourself from the beginning. If you needed to be used to get out of your comfort zone again and again, over your life, then at 50, you will be able to do it again. But to do it for the first time at that age, it's very difficult. And what I saw after years, yes, that it's not just in Israel, it's all over the world. To be at 50 years old, it's very difficult to get a job. And many people need to be entrepreneurs. They have no other choice because they are still young. They need to make a living out of something. And they just need to invent themselves. And that's what brought me, I think 15 years ago, to develop the Entrepreneurship for Kids program, in which we instill entrepreneurial skills to the students from a young age. And here I want to share with you a story that will may demonstrate how I implemented these skills. When I started, you see that I now speak with you English. Although my English now is not perfect, but then these days it was awful. But this didn't stop me from deciding to teach abroad, not just in Israel, in English. And the first school that I reached was in the United States, in Florida. And I taught the school staff there was no Zoom, there was over Skype. And I had another computer beside me on Google Translate. And when I forgot a word, I didn't know it, I said, excuse me, and they looked for the word. And they paid me for this program. And they said it is an eye-opening program. And I'm sharing this story with you because I believe that we are not supposed to be perfect in order to jump into the water, to dare to do something that we believe in, because we will never be perfect. We will all learn all the way, all this journey. It's a lifelong learning. Everyone says it's true. It's true. And we are not supposed to let these fears of not being perfect from stopping us doing what we are believing in. And okay, so this is a question, what is entrepreneurship? A question that rises from time to time. And here I share my definition that I found from my experience is about entrepreneurship is about starting a process of creating something new that has uniqueness and has beneficial to society. And this new something can be in any domain. When I say a uniqueness, I mean that there are many businesses out there. When we establish a business, we need to think why people will turn to me. So what is the added value that we bring? So each business, no matter what, has to have a uniqueness, and it has to be bring as any added value, so people will want it. And it really can be in any domain. It can be in art, it can be in environment, whatever, in everything. So why would anyone want to be an entrepreneur? Some say it's about money, but it's definitely not money. This is not the reason why people are starting to be entrepreneurs. When you start to do something that you are believing and you are working on it, and you're realizing it, you feel that you put your mark here on this world, that you have an influence, that there is a meaning for what you are doing. And it gives you a sense of living. And this is something that as an entrepreneur, we appreciate very much. And I believe that's why we see many serial entrepreneurs. They don't stop after the first one, even though they made a lot of money. They don't stop there. They continue. So why to start entrepreneurship at a young age? And that's why I encourage students at any age to start, because first reason is that they are inexperienced. And you may say, if they are not experienced, it's a reason not to start at a young age. But no, it is a reason also for starting, because when you are inexperienced, you have lack of awareness of the difficulties, of the challenges that you may face during this journey. And because you are not aware of them, you dare to start, and you are not afraid of anything because you don't know from what to be afraid of. And this is why I encourage the young students to start. And when you are young, people are willing to help you. It's much easier to get help from others. Also, you are free from debts and obligations, and when you don't owe anything to anyone, and this gives you the freedom to try, to dare, to take risks, to fail. It's okay to fail, nothing happened. You don't owe anything to anyone. And when you are young, you are more creative. I teach, I also work with young kids, teenagers, and adults. And what I find is that the young kids are very creative by nature. It's very natural for them to be creative. The teenagers are afraid to be creative, and because they are afraid to be criticized by their friends and the adults. And when the adults understand that it's important to be creative, but they are not creative anymore, so they put a lot of efforts in being creative, something that was natural when they were kids. And the young students are much more adaptable and flexible. As I told you, it's very difficult to start getting out from your comfort zone when you are 50 for the first time. But when you are young, you don't have the routine or that you are get used to and you can't change. You are able to change everything. And as an entrepreneur, you will have to change and make adaptations during the journey. That's why it's much easier for you to be an entrepreneur. And the last thing is that lack of knowledge. Again, you can say it's disadvantage, but it's also an advantage because when you don't know, you are open to new things. You are not aware of the rules, of the things that people act in a certain way. You ask questions, and that's why you dare, and you don't let others limit your mind and your creativity. So how to think about an idea for a project? Because some students say everything has been already invented. What can we invent now? Yes, we have many things, but still there is a room for many others. And the first thing that we need to do is to be aware of our surroundings, pay attention for problems, for issues, not just of ours, but also of others, because we may have the abilities to solve them. And from this, we can think of a new idea, a new venture, project, and also ask questions. Ask questions why things work like this. Why do people act like this? And things like this, and don't just ask questions and leave it, as many kids do, like mine, but also go and research, check. You have questions, go and check, look for answers. And that's the way, actually, like Newton, when he saw the apple fell down, he asked, why does the apple fall down and doesn't go up or to the side? And then he went and researched, and all what we know about the gravity is because of this question that he went up to look for. And the last thing is about imagination. This is something new, not new, this is something amazing. We have it free, it's in our mind, in everyone's mind, and without limitations. We just need to use our imagination to see another reality, the way that we imagine how things could be different. And once we can see it in our imagination, we can also work to realize it. And this brings me to something that imagination is related to creativity, but we have to be aware of the surrounding that criticize creativity, and sometimes ideas that were at the beginning were considered as delusional become our life true. And here are some examples I would like to share with you. This is Mr. Benjamin Herzl, and at the beginning he said he's the visionary of the Jewish state, and he said at the beginning, everybody says I'm crazy because that's what I see, and I see one solution: a Jewish state with their historical in their historical homeland. And as you can see, I sit here, I'm talking with you from Israel state. So his delusional, crazy idea became true. Or here another example, which I'm sure you know, the Wright brothers, that also were considered somewhat insane at the beginning. And that's why almost no one came to see their first flight. And about the organic food, I know it's also happened in the United States, but in Israel, Mario Levy, the founder of organic agriculture, said that it was not easy at first. When I first say the word organic food, people thought I was crazy. And another example is about the bottled water, the same as in the United States. Here in Israel, it was said about the founder of a big company called Eden in Israel that in those days, people thought he was crazy. No one believed that Israelis would pay for bottled water. And a last example, and I think this is amazing, it's about the drones that now we can see they are used all over the world for different kinds of things. And Dr. David Harari, who was a pioneer in this domain, said that when we started working on it, people laughed at my crew and me, and people told us we were children playing with toys. So this is something that is very important for me to share with the young people, because they have imagination, but they are afraid to be criticized by others. And when I share these with them, it gives them the feeling that they can be creative and don't listen to all who criticize them for being delusional. So is an idea enough for being an entrepreneur? Absolutely not. There are basically 3 stages. And the first one is to have an idea, a good idea, and we'll explain what is a good idea. The second one is that you need to realize the idea, for bringing from just an idea in your head to something that is actually in the field. And the last one is to make the market use it. And here it has to be with something with beneficial, added value, uniqueness, something that the community wants to use. I talked at the beginning about the skills from the entrepreneurial domain that I believe everyone should embrace and use in daily life. And I would like to mention them. So first, entrepreneurs are people who of doing. They are not just talking, they also do. So they are action men, as we call it. They believe in themselves. So no one will believe in you at the beginning. Many will criticize you. So you need to believe in yourself, in what you are doing. So you will continue and get over all these challenges. You have to have the desire to learn and grow. We talked about it, that we learn along the journey and it never ends. You need to have the ability to deal with failures, but because there will be failures for sure. And only one who deals with them and go over will make it. which brings me to determination and perseverance. That's how we can keep going and make something come true. The courage to dare, not to be afraid of taking risks. Be focused target, because along the way we will hear a lot of advices. You need to do this or you need to do that, and they all have good intentions, but they are not in your focus. So we need to listen to our voice and what we want to achieve. Internal motivation. Entrepreneurs don't need others to tell them what to do and that they need to get up in the morning and work on what they are doing. No, they have this internal motivation. They take responsibility of their decisions, actions. They don't blame others for failures, because they need to learn from what they have decided or did. Creativity, it's clear, and many others. And actually, all these skills that we are talking about is part of something like a puzzle. They are all pieces in a whole puzzle. And that's what makes us be entrepreneurs. Okay, and then usually arises the question, okay, so if I don't have all these skills, can I be an entrepreneur? So of course, most of us don't have all these skills as a large extent, but this is why we encourage everyone to form teams, teammates that complete your skills, and together you can accomplish what you want. Okay, so I have an idea. What now? First, we will go and check, is it already exist or doesn't exist? Sometimes there is something like this, but we can do something better, or something with uniqueness, something with added value. So if we find something that doesn't exist and we can do it better, the next stage will be to go and check if there is or isn't a need or a desire. So I know that in all entrepreneurial programs, they talk about need, but there is also something that we call desire. Sometimes we don't need it, but we want it, like an exclusive car, a new perfume, whatever things that usually people are willing to pay a lot of money for these things that they want, not necessarily need. And if we find something like this, actually, how do we find this? We have to go and check, not with our family, not with our friends. We need to check with our target audience, those who are supposed to buy or to consume what we want to offer. And I'm talking about it because there was a survey a few years ago that found out that the second reason for startups to fail is that there is no market need. Usually, entrepreneurs are in love in their idea and they work on it. They put a lot of effort and resources, but then when they get out, they find that there is no need or a desire. So we first go and check if someone will use it and also will pay for it, and only then we will work on it. And after we find such a good idea, we need to check if we can or not implement it. So we will make a list, like a cake recipe. What are the ingredients to make this cake real? The same with the project. What are the resources? What are the inputs that we need to put there to make this project coming true? And we will see how can we get them, how much will they cost, from where can we get them, and everything there. And after we have this, we are going to start our action plan. What do we need to do in a time frame so we know that we are progressing according to our goals? I would like to end with one slide about this success. There is no one way to success. Each of us will find his own way. It depends in many, many things that on us and circumstances, and that will come along the journey. So it may be difficult, but I believe we can do it. So this was my talk about entrepreneurship is for anyone, and now it's your turn.
That was the best presentation on entrepreneurship I have ever seen. And I have been to Harvard Business School, and your presentation is better than theirs.
Thank you, Jake.
Because it was from her heart, Jake. She presented her story, and then she presented not just the facts, but the kind of experience that she had. And I always believe that experience matters.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
So
yeah.
No, go ahead, Ms. Khan.
No, come on. You say it. I'm just answering a question of our panelists, so you just meanwhile continue.
So, Galit, one thing that I think that is important, and you might, it's just up to you, you might want to include this, okay? We think of entrepreneur as somebody who's doing something new on their own. You know, they've got a good idea and they're doing it. The truth is, many companies want entrepreneurs inside of them to help them develop new products. So you don't have to be working in your garage by yourself. You can be part of a bigger company. And I have been in situations where a company has said to me, we need a new product, or we need a better product. You develop it. And so I was an entrepreneur inside of a company. And you might want to let people know that that is also an important option.
It's more than that. It's I started in a big company from the bottom to the top because I was inter-organization entrepreneur. So these skills, it's not for those who will work in their garage, but it's also inter-organization entrepreneurs, because that's what the employees are looking for workers who can bring a lot of value to the organization, and not that machines will replace them. So so these skills are relevant also for them.
Oh, absolutely. Very, very impressive.
Thank you very much.
I personally will be using this video and sharing this with other people. This is very important.
Thank you.
Indeed it is. And I'm really happy with the Galit's logo.
Yes.
Have you observed, Jake? It's so cute. Not just cute, basically. I'm just saying it cute from a designer's perspective, but it's very kind of in-depth, and it says everything about her work and about her experience. Galit, do you still, I just noticed in the beginning of the presentation, as you said, you teach entrepreneurship to schools. Do you still, although you organize hackathons and Vickathons and all that stuff, but do you still teach that as a subject to schools?
Yes. And you can congratulate me.
And you do it online?
I keep going to one school
at a time.
Yes, no, 1 year each time. I take one school, but all others I teach. I train the teachers, and they teach all students all over, not just in Israel, but all over the world.
And it's a course of 1 year.
It can be. It's up to you actually. It can be from about 3 months to 3 years.
Perfect.
Great. One of the things that's happened in the United States is that if a student is considered to be a very good student, if a student is considered to be very smart, the reason they are a good student and the reason they are considered to be smart is because they do exactly what the teachers tell them to do, and they do it exactly the way they were told to do it. And you go, oh, yes, you're very good. But to be an entrepreneur, you have to do things differently. And often I found that the smartest students, the students with the very best grades, are not very creative. How can you
You're right,
encourage
because
them?
they need to align themselves to the expectations that teachers expect from them. And it's not about creativity. No, it's about good grades, be silent, do what we tell you to do. And they lose their creativity like this.
And they're terrified of doing something creative and new because it might be wrong. And these are students who never get anything wrong.
This is because of the mindset being inducted, Jake. It leads to our conversation of growth mindset and fixed mindset. The fixed mindset, it has a lot of, if you just start talking about it, it has a lot of diversity in the fact that it is not only snubbing a child, but giving a child illusion of wrong success, giving a child illusion, and as Galit was talking about delusions, of wrong happiness, of wrong joy, of fake grades, actually just takes away that kind of growth mindset that yes, I need to evolve, yes, I need to do this, or being creative or making mistakes and all that stuff. So it leads to the fake illusion of success and fake illusion of mindset that we give to a child.
I agree. Galit, thank you very much. That was wonderful.
Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye,
Thank you.
Galit.